From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. Residents in one Washington, D.C. neighborhood lined up Wednesday to protest the increased police presence after the White House said the number of National Guard troops in the nation's capital would ramp up and federal officers would be on the streets around the clock. After law enforcement set up a vehicle checkpoint along the busy 14th Street Northwest corridor, hecklers shouted, "Go home, fascists," and "Get off our streets." Some protesters stood at the intersection before the checkpoint and urged drivers to turn away from it. The action intensified a few days after President Donald Trump's unprecedented announcement that his administration would take over the city's police department for at least a month. The city's Democratic mayor walked a political tightrope, referring to the takeover as an authoritarian push at one point, and later framing the infusion of officers as a boost to public safety, though one with few specific barometers for success. The Republican president has said crime in the city was at emergency levels that only federal intervention could fix, even as District of Columbia leaders pointed to statistics showing violent crime at a 30-year low after a sharp rise 2 years ago. In other news, a group of rabbits in Colorado with grotesque horn-like growths may seem straight out of a low-budget horror film, but scientists say there's no reason to be spooked. The furry creatures merely have a relatively common virus. The cottontails, recently spotted in Fort Collins, are infected with the mostly harmless Shope papillomavirus, which causes wart-like growths that protrude from their faces like metastasizing horns. Viral photos have inspired a fluffle of unflattering nicknames, including Frankenstein bunnies, demon rabbits, and zombie rabbits. But their affliction is nothing new, with the virus inspiring ancient folklore and fueling scientific research nearly 100 years ago. The virus likely influenced the centuries-old jackalope myth in North America, which told of a rabbit with antlers or horns, among other animal variations. The disease in rabbits also contributed to scientists' knowledge about the connection between viruses and cancer, such as the human papillomavirus that causes cervical cancer. A divided panel of appeals court judges ruled Wednesday that the Trump administration can suspend or terminate billions of dollars of congressionally appropriated funding for foreign aid. 2 of 3 judges from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit concluded that grant recipients challenging the freeze did not meet the requirements for a preliminary injunction restoring the flow of money. In January, on the first day of his second term in the White House, Republican President Donald Trump issued an executive order directing the State Department and the U.S. Agency for International Development to freeze spending on foreign aid. After groups of grant recipients sued to challenge that order, U.S. District Judge Amir Ali ordered the administration to release the full amount of foreign assistance that Congress had appropriated for the 2024 budget year. The appeals court majority partially vacated Ali's order. Judge Karen LaCraft Henderson and Gregory Katsas concluded that the plaintiffs did not have a valid legal basis for the court to hear their claims. The ruling was not on the merits of whether the government unconstitutionally infringed on Congress's spending power. And finally, Lancaster Chooses Love, a leading LGBTQ advocacy organization in Pennsylvania, has removed Parker Webb, one of its co-founders, from its board earlier this week. The organization's website stated they recognize and honor the contributions Parker made to the organization and are deeply grateful for his years of service, but did not indicate why Webb was removed. Their statement said in part, "At Lancaster County Chooses Love, we believe the way we lead should reflect the world we're working to build, one rooted in equity, collaboration, care, and sustainability. From our inception, we have been committed to uplifting and protecting and supporting LGBTQ plus people in Lancaster County, especially trans youth, Thanks to the vision of one of our co-founders, Parker Webb, we have been able to develop an organization focused on advocacy, compassion, mutual aid, and radical love. At Lancaster County Chooses Love has grown, so have the demands and scope of our work. Since hosting our first Pride Festival in 2021, we have profoundly expanded our services and presence in Lancaster County to include year-round programs and vital resources for our LGBTQ plus community members. The expansion of our programs has increased Lancaster County Chooses Love's need for volunteer support, strong community partnerships, additional funding sources, and management of day-to-day operations. To meet these demands and continue to expand our organizational reach, the LCCL board has made the difficult decision to restructure its leadership team. Going forward, Lancaster County Chooses Love's executive team will include Jessica Purdy, executive partner for culture and operations, and Laura Sabatini, executive partner for development and strategic initiatives. And Parker will leave his role at Lancaster County Chooses Love. Though change is never easy, we believe it is necessary to ensure that we have the right people in the right roles so we can continue to prioritize our mission of serving the LGBTQ plus community. We recognize and honor the contributions that Parker has made to LCCL and are deeply grateful for his years of service. His vision and passion help build our organization and shape our values, and Parker's legacy will forever remain a part of Lancaster County Chooses Love. That's the news this hour. Pennsylvania Equality Project and PEP Radio are participating in Crawford Gives Days 2025. We have 2 days left to reach our goal of $2,000. This is our only major fundraising event of the year. Every dollar helps us continue our mission. If you are watching our videos on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.